Welcome back from this. From this.
Yeah, you're gone, you stupid bitch.
Welcome to the.
We started off with Juan just being gone.
The latest J.E.S.Kidding podcast, broadcasting here remotely because of this COVID-19 crap bullshit. It's not bullshit.
First of all, should we say hello to the idiots? I mean, you're just being rude right now.
All 29 of you, I'm sure we've declined in our numbers.
Well,
I know.
We lost. I don't know about you guys.
We lost a few.
Yeah, this might be the first.
Due to Corona.
This might be the first time that people actually visually see us. So, as I
so we're gonna lose it. Yeah, we're gonna lose a few more.
Yeah, so we'll lose a few more. So I'm Juan.
I am the creator. I am the Omega. What the fuck are you drinking blood, dude? What the fuck is going on over there?
It's the cure.
House. I won't be.
Well, apparently, according to the president, we could drink Lysol now. So I don't see why you can't drink blood.
Exactly.
Just like Trump said, what do you have to lose?
My life. So what?
You know what? All the Trump supporters should do that. They should follow his advice. Start with bleach.
Did he say that for real?
Yeah, he did, man.
He was being sarcastic and started saying.
No, that's what he's saying now. But he wasn't being sarcastic. He was being dumb serious.
Okay, if it was and stuff, I honestly don't see anything bad because if all his supporters that follow him like sheep start doing it,
if they're gonna do it, yeah, you're right.
Problem solved. He may have just.
I thought the same thing. I thought the same thing. There's a bunch of people like out protesting, so they don't want to stay sheltered in. It's like go crowd around each other.
Yes, please. By all means,
that's just evolution.
Crowd yourself around each other. Go to the hospital and crowd yourself there, and die.
But anyways, the other two didn't introduce themselves.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so I'm the J. Lalo's the E. Salo's the S. And Chris is the K.
What's up?
We gotta do the whole Brady Bunch thing where we're pointing at each other's boxes.
I'm actually pointing at the way I see you guys, so I don't even know if that's the way you guys are seeing me. But
I see you guys like this. Look.
Salo to my left, Lalo to the bottom of me, and then Chris to the fucking 730.
Fucking look, Chris is just there.
Yeah, he's just there.
He hacked us. He hacked our channel. He hacked our meeting.
Hella shit to go over and stuff because obviously Chris, you're in the front line, and Lalo, you're a new dad, so we want to hear some shit. We want to hear some stories.
Please.
Let's do it.
Ladies first.
Chris.
Motherfucker.
A whole live here.
That shit came out hella Filipino. Motherfuckers.
Fucking.
Goddamn motherfuckers.
Oh, we'll talk about COVID-19 today. I don't know if you heard this, Chris, or any of you guys. So today in the morning, I took my kuya for a walk, and there's this girl that was there walking also with her dog, and she was telling me, hey, I don't know if you heard it, but do you know that San Jose had the first death in the U.S.? I'm like, I thought it was some guy in Seattle. And he's like, no, what happened is that some lady passed away before this became like a complete outbreak. But I guess her doctor was kind of curious and you know what? Let me do an autopsy on this patient of mine that passed away recently, and sure enough, she had COVID-19 in her blood. So they're saying that lady was technically the first U.S. COVID-19 death in the country.
So should we get a trophy or something for that shit? What? I don't give a fuck. That information is stupid to me.
No,
not what you're saying. I'm just saying that means nothing to me, dude. So fucking what? I mean, not offending anybody who lost their lives or anything, but that's not a good thing to be, that's not something that we should be yeah, we had the first COVID-19 here. It's dude,
it makes a lot of sense because if this thing started in Wuhan, China, and we have
we get a lot of people coming in here for sure, but
we have a lot of Chinese population here in the San Francisco Bay Area, so it makes a lot of sense.
I just don't understand I don't understand what the point of that information is. That
I was bringing up for Chris if he has heard anything about that, because I mean he's saying the front lines.
Well, everybody keeps saying they have a tap on the first, like the hospital I work at. They said they had the tap on the first case. We were one of the first, and I can say it now because it's in the news, but not the first death. I don't know about the first death. Where was the first death?
Well, it was supposedly here in the Bay Area. In San Jose?
Yeah, supposedly the lady was from San Jose.
I think it's Santa Clara County, right? They said?
Supposedly that lady was from San Jose.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, as far as I know, I think that wasn't the one that came to us. I think we had the first hospitalization case, but I don't know. At this point, it could be from anywhere. Cause
wait, so they were really telling you to keep that on the DL, Chris?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What else do you know,
well,
Chris? Is
what the fuck else do you know?
We're all doomed.
Oh. You're not helping. We knew that already.
You don't want to know what I know. It's not good.
Yeah.
Enjoy your family. Enjoy your family now. You're all dead.
You might as well just drink the Lysol now. Just
end it quickly.
Just shoot yourself now, guys. It's over.
Fortunately.
Honestly, like, knock on fucking wood, it's not as bad now from what I'm seeing. So it's kind of encouraging. But I think that's just because it's the effect of the social distancing where there's not a lot of people. Like, you hear in the news all the horror stories of hospitals overflooded. But that's areas with, like, the population out of control. Like Santa Clara County is not too bad. I can't speak to, I think regional and I think Valley are a little overwhelmed.
Damn.
Sure.
There was, and again, I'm only talking about stuff that's in the news. I think there was a whole unit of nurses that were in Valley Medical that there was an outbreak and one of them passed away or something like that. But it sounds like at least California's got it pretty managed. San Francisco sounds like they've got the best handle on the whole thing. For how many people, a dense population they are, there isn't that many. Again, I don't know. So,
well, I know that in the whole state of California,
it's a fluke.
In the whole state of California, LA was the one that got hit the hardest.
It's still getting hit the hardest, apparently.
Well, isn't it hella overpopulated? That's why they have like a fucking problem and stuff because of all the traffic and the cars and stuff.
Right.
I'm just talking about the numbers of people that's there. It's very over-concentrated, no? I mean, that would make sense.
Yeah. Well, that's why New York is, the way they are, and because it's so overpopulated. I mean, it is what it is. Stuff like that. When you get cities that are like this, like it's gonna happen. You're gonna have more cases because there's less room to move around. I guess if you want, like Chris just said, social distancing. There's less room to move around. And we all know LA. I mean, LA. You can't have a 15-minute trip without hitting a freeway or there's no such thing as going around the corner and it being a 15-minute trip. You know what I mean?
No.
It's just it's so much.
Well,
but
well, I mean, so right now it looks like it's encouraging to see less people. Like the hospitals are maybe finally stabilizing, but that's because everyone's at home. Once they start letting people out, it's gonna be another wave, and then after that, another wave after that, and so it's kind of hard to predict what the fuck.
All those idiots that want to go back to work and open the economy, like you guys are basically shooting yourself in the foot again. This thing is gonna restart, and again, everybody's gonna have to, be quarantined and again stop working. It's.
Well, I'll tell you what. I would you guys know I like Chris. Myself is going to work every day, and for whatever reason, today in the morning, I saw more cars. Like you just know when you see more cars out there, because I leave every day to go to work at the same time, which is like 6:30. and I saw more cars today. Like literally today, I saw more cars. Yesterday was still, it was fine, but today, for whatever reason, it was just like, obviously, it wasn't enough to say, oh, there's traffic, but you could see it was heavier. Like there was more cars out there, and I feel that it's because now that it's getting warm, people have this idea, or maybe I don't know, but because it is getting warm, people think that it's warm, we could. It's good to go out now, or it's good to go back to work, or whatever the situation may be.
I think a lot of those people are just driving around, man. Like there's a lot of people just
not at 6:30 in the. Well, I don't know. I was talking about 6:30 in the morning when I was going to work. And you're right, Ron. I don't know where these people were going. I'm assuming they were going to work, right? Who knows? But it felt like there was more cars on the street. There was more cars on the highway. So I don't know.
There's a question because you drive all these business people around, right? Are they wearing?
Not anymore, but yes, they don't. They stopped traveling.
Oh, they stopped traveling
because
they stopped traveling once. They stopped traveling like the week that it got announced for the quarantine. Even a little bit before that, they stopped traveling.
No, well, it's not true to that because today I was coming back from Joanna's mom's house because I went to pick up something, and I was just driving down Taylor and then down Second Street, and there was a bunch of people just hanging out, walking around, and part of it has
crazy, dude. It's true.
Part of it, I'm pretty sure, it is the weather. I mean, let's be honest. It's, these old houses here, they get really warm inside, but it's one of those things where the social distance is still going on. You shouldn't be out socializing with people, but it's a risk.
Yeah. I think.
What do you? Well, no, I just questioned to the dads. So, what? I mean, both of you guys just had your kids, and what are you going to tell them about like this time? Like this is the era of which they were like, this is a time in history that like, look.
All I'll say is like
nobody knew what the fuck was.
I hope I have to tell them about that, and they can't remember this. I hope that I have to tell our daughter that what was going on, but she doesn't remember it and stuff. Hopefully that this is just like something, because like my neighbor said something the other day is like really profound. I don't know, for some reason it got to me. He just said it'll never be the same again.
No, of course not.
You think about like these big group meeting or things that we like to do personally. Us, we like to go to concerts. We like to go to sports. We like to do stuff like this and stuff. So it's like to think that it's never gonna be the same again is a very sad thought for me. I hope that my kid doesn't remember that. I hope that this is just like a really bad time. This is like 9/11. You were there, and it sucked, and it was scary, and it was crazy. Right. But
Dude, on that note, the world changed twice on us. The world changed after 9/11, and that was mostly like the U.S. primarily, right? Because it happened here. But with this, the whole world is changing. If countries are not willing to change their habits, this is going to happen again within our generation. And right now, for anybody that considers themselves conservative, that's obsolete. You have to change. You can't want to go back to the same way of life because it's not possible. It won't be possible.
Yeah. But if she does remember this, I'm going to just blame it on her and be like, well, I don't know. Everything was going
everything happened right.
Until you showed up.
You got here. Until you stop cleaning your room.
It's your fault.
Until you stop picking up your toys.
Exactly. You better eat your broccoli, because let me tell you, that corona's coming.
One other country. Or eat this. Or you're going to have another pandemic.
Hey, fuck the cucuy, huh? Fuck the cucuy. It's all about the corona. You want me to call corona on you?
I'm going to try to use all this. I'm going to try to use all this to my parenting advantage. That's all.
Don't fuck with me. No, you better finish your broccoli.
Pandemic? When the pandemic? Pick up your choice.
You want to go to quarantine? Because I can make it happen real quick. I'll cough on your ass.
Oh, good. But yeah, man. I hope that that's the case, man. I mean, it's it's crazy because it's like it's the best time and the worst time to have a kid because it's great because of the extra bonding time, but at the same time they're born into this world that they don't even know anything else besides this pandemic at this point. And Lalo, I'm sure you could attest to that, like the thought that just like our kid doesn't know anything else but this right now. I mean, not that they know, but it's just
and it's funny because today the doctor called Joanna just to do a checkup, and she said exactly the same thing. It's kind of like a blessing in disguise because we're able to spend all the time with her and bond with her. Because this is very essential to the development of children. That's why so many children grow up to be all screwed up because
parents are at work.
Both parents were never at the same time together. So it's kind of like a perfect time to have a baby right now because you're able to really spend time. And I completely agree.
Start fucking.
Rona babies.
They said it's good time to have a child now. You better start fucking. Hey, Chris, just get one by the goalie. That's all you need is just one.
Yeah.
Hey, but that's a perfect time to stock up on gasoline.
Really?
Listen, Chris, you're gonna get 1,200 plus 500. Think about it. I'm just saying.
9 months from now.
Yeah, like my boy Craig, he got the 1,200 plus he got the extra 5 because of his son, and then he told me, he's like, you got your money? Yes. And I didn't do direct deposit, so I'm going to get a check, right? He's like, oh, you only getting 1,200? I was like, well, yeah. I was like, excuse me. I was like, well, yeah. And he's like, I told you. You need to start fucking. You need to start having. I was like, wait, what? He's like, you got an extra 500? I was like, get the fuck out of my face. Dude, what the fuck?
$504. I'm sure that levels out.
Exactly. I'm sure it's going to make up for the hundreds of thousands of dollars I'm going to spend on this little motherfucker. Hell no. What the fuck? That's how funny. He told me, he's like, you better start fucking. You need that extra 500, right? I said, hell no. Fuck that extra 500. I don't need that shit.
Take it back.
Yeah, of course.
It's crazy because I would say that all this is great because I get to work from home, which is great, and we get to spend more time and stuff. But with the baby, but the only thing is that we can't have my parents visit and Ceci's mom visit. That's crazy and stuff because. The babies
and the uncles, dickhead.
Yeah, of course. Like everybody, and
that'll exclude us out of it, dick.
The fact that they can't, visit and nobody can visit really sucks because you really see, even though my kid is only 7 weeks old, you see how fast she's growing, and you're damn, they're missing these moments that they.
Yeah, absolutely.
I fully planned for them to be a part of. They're. Even she's growing every day, and she's developing every day and stuff. So it's like I always dreamt for like my parents to be here and Ceci's mom and dad to be here to like witness all this shit because they've been waiting for so long for a grandkid and stuff. So that's the only part that I really like.
Yeah, but you know what? The thing is, this was something. I understand, but it's also one of those things like it was out of your control. It's out of our control, obviously, right? So it's something that you couldn't. But I hear you because of shit like this, it's like your parents, you yourself, your wife, is missing out on a lot of interaction with your suegros and your parents. You know what I mean? I get it. Yeah, absolutely. And that's gotta suck, dude.
Yeah, my mom was able to come over. I want to say it's already last week, obviously, because I told Joanna like. Because I can visibly see Gali is bigger as of 2 weeks ago. I could see her like she's already getting big, and I don't want my mom to miss out.
Absolutely.
And she's not gonna meet a baby. She's gonna end up meeting a toddler. So we kind of like I kind of told my mom and my brother, se bañan, take a shower before you come over here. Fuck it. And my mom when she came.
I mean, that sounds. A lot of people may think that sounds wrong, but it really isn't. Like I mean, it's one of those things,
But I mean, it's keeping it real. I mean,
and trust me, I don't think your mom.
She didn't mind.
Like,
she did.
I'm sure she understands. You know what I mean?
No,
we dropped off some donuts on Easter to my parents' house and stuff, and they're like painting the interior of the house, right, of their house and stuff, and like we brought the baby over because we hadn't been out of the house in weeks, right? So We just took a car ride all together, even with Chico in the back and stuff, and we went over to the house, Rock House and Donuts on the doorstep, and my mom and dad were able to come out, and we were like at the driveway, and they were like at the door, and we're just kind of showing them the baby and stuff, you know what I mean? And that part sucked because it's like you feel like I mean, these are your parents, but you have to treat them like they're aliens and shit.
Yeah, dude, that's so fucked up.
Look from here. Look from here.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like that part is like
you keep a joystick. Don't get too close.
Yeah. And then
but don't touch. Like, what the fuck?
We ended up visiting Ceci's parents, which they're an hour away and stuff, and they haven't been out in weeks and stuff, right? So they haven't been exposed to anything really. They get all their groceries like delivered.
They're all turning white.
Yeah, dude. So we go over there, and even when we were there, they have to have a mask on. We had them put a mask on while they're like holding the baby. But it's just, again, it's one of those things where you have to treat them like they're aliens or something, just like something so. You're just like, dude, these are our parents, you know. It's like
right. Yeah. We shouldn't have to treat them that way, right?
It's very weird, very strange.
Yeah.
Would you say, because so the family dynamics that we used to know, where we were all very close, we have the distance, which is kind of weird. But at the same time, you're saying earlier your neighbor had been talking to you, and I guess for me, I'm noticing strangers are a little more kinder to each other.
Yeah.
A lot of people are more concerned about each other's health and everything. They check in more. So it's a weird thing. Like,
not necessarily.
You're further away from your family.
Like over here in downtown is because so before Gali was born, me and Jonah would go for walks, and this is when already it was like put on some face masks and distance, and as we're walking down the street, I don't know if there's a lot of people that still didn't believe how serious this thing is, and I'm pretty sure there's still a lot of people even now. Like there's people that they'll walk right next to you with no face mask. And we're not talking about homeless people. We're talking about young people here in downtown.
Regular people on the street. Yeah.
Yeah, and there are other people who they see me walking down the street, and they'll actually. It's kind of like one of those things. Like, let's see who steps onto the street first, because if we get too close, it's one of those, and it's kind of awkward because they're like, "Are you gonna move out of the way, or am I gonna have to move out of the way?"
And you know what's crazy too about that you say that, Lalo, at work. There's some people who still are walking around without masks and gloves. Dude, and I'm sitting here like, bro, the company's providing you with this shit. Why aren't you wearing it? Yeah. I don't know. And some of these guys and women, some of these men and women that are like that, I mean, they're of that age where you're technically with the coronavirus a little more, if you catch it, you're more liable to really get affected by it, right? And I'm talking about people in their, 50s plus, even 60s, and they're out there just, I don't give a fuck. No mask, no gloves, no. And I'm sitting here like looking like I'm fucking about to go to outer space and shit.
I walked Chico down this community center over here in this park, and everything, all the benches, all the barbecues, they're taped off with those, cross lines and stuff, right? So one day, after a while, Ceci's like, let's go to the park. I need to get out because she hadn't been out, literally out of these walls. And right, she's like, I need to take a walk. I'm like, all right, cool. We go over there and we see up on the hill these fools like just barbecuing and stuff, right? And I'm just like, I just want to go, dude. Do you not think that we want to do this shit? Are you fucking like? You think like you're the only ones that want to just hang out and just barbecue and shit? Like, dude.
Yeah, over here, the park where I take Mercurio, there's some swing sets. They ended up taking off the chains.
Yeah.
So,
here too. Exactly.
There was one day that I took Mercurio because this park that's right here, it's called Rayland Park. There's days where everything's locked up. There's no way to get in the park unless you jump the fence. And sometimes there's one gate is open, or because there's a total of 4 gates. And I don't know. There's days where like I had to go to the other far end where it's open. So I don't know if the person that is taking care of the park is empathetic with people that have dogs. But one day I go and there's some ladies, white ladies, fucking doing a full blown up picnic. Even on top of the signs that says not to use. And they were having a picnic. And there's just a lot of people that just don't really care. There's a street right here called Clayton.
Here's the thing I have to say about that. If you're not around people, I hear you guys. I understand, and I understand that you shouldn't be out. But if these people aren't around you, they're more than 6 feet away, maybe even 10 feet. I mean, hey, you know what? Because if that was a thing, then why is Chris still at work? Why am I still at work? Right? It's a social distancing thing. As long as these people are 6 feet away from you,
you don't matter. You don't matter.
Oh, well, okay, sure. But at the end of the day, hey, if these people are 6 feet away from you, who the fuck are you to say anything? Like that's the reality of it. And I know that they shouldn't be out, right? But there's people out there that are still working every day.
I mean, they were just being assholes. Like, dude,
Sure.
like, we're just gonna break the rules, and like, we're just gonna like. The point is like, you're supposed to just stay the fuck at home. And then I even thought, dude, you guys want to hang out so fucking much? Pick one of your fucking one of you guys' fucking pad and just go there.
Exactly.
You know, like,
Just go to your house, exactly.
Just being an asshole. You're just being an asshole. Like fucking. You're just look at me. I can just go over here and just like break the with us. You know, it's like it was just fucking stupid.
And the funny
Like,
thing
if you
about
wanna
this,
hang out with your buddies so much,
Like,
have them come over to your house. Yeah.
and the funny thing about this whole thing, as from what I've seen here in downtown, is always white people who are out and about.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of people drinking, older white ladies drinking wine in the front yard. There was one day that we were walking Mercurio, and there was like two older white ladies and one older guy in the front, just drinking, I don't know, martinis, whatever. Because the lady was like,
That's
and you
that
could tell
white
she was
privilege,
drunk.
man.
She was like, "Didn't you already walk by with your dog?" I'm like, "I'm pretty sure it's another guy with a husky." And they were just drinking martinis. They didn't move out of the way. They were in the front yard.
They were
And
white folk?
white people, dude. The first day,
Well,
that
so the same thing.
Remember, they don't get sick. They don't get the coronavirus. Remember that?
Apparently, it was the Mexican president that was saying that Mexicans don't get sick. Remember that one? Remember that?
Yeah, that too.
yeah. Well, I mean, fortunately for Mexico, they don't have that many cases, but that shit can change really quick.
It will if they don't, you know, but
And out there.
They're not there yet. Yeah,
Not
exactly.
bad, actually. People, that's what I mean, like, neighborly. Well,
Yeah, right.
so around here, it's not so bad. My girlfriend and I happened to go to, because we were getting kind of cabin feverish. We went to the coast to walk Sea Cliff, to get to, like, walk the coast and look up to Golden Gate Bridge. You have to go through the Presidio, which is like I guess a really nice neighborhood.
Yeah.
And as we're walking, everybody's walking, like no one's staying home.
Yeah.
There was two older white ladies walking their dog. They see us, and my girlfriend's Chinese. Like they start to pull their masks up,
you know,
and they
man.
fucking walk around the curb.
Yeah.
And the girl was like, "What the fuck?" So I start coughing, going.
Yeah, you should have just opened your shirt.
Yeah. And so, like, okay, people are shitty. Like, San Francisco, you think is, like, progressive capital or whatever.
But in the Presidio, that's not
people
about
that
rich
like
people.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the case. Is, you know, Sharons and Karens or whoever. But it's just, like, it was just frustrating to see that. And then there was another lady on the other side of the street walking her dog, and she told this older Asian couple to get off the street to make room for her and her dog. I was like, what the hell is happening right now, dude? Yeah, it is weird. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird out there, and I didn't.
You didn't use your fucking like.
Francisco.
You didn't use your kung fu to fucking fuck these people up, Chris? You should have kung fu the shit out of them, Chris. What the fuck? You let your people down. You should have defended your girl's honor and kung fu the shit. You should have got hit man on that motherfucker. Fucked up, Chris.
You have one job.
Hey, you should have said, Corona, don't eat black.
What did she say, dude, when all that shit happened?
It's just disappointing when you see that kind of shit. But I was like, you know what? It doesn't matter what race or what economic like group they're in. Like idiots are everywhere.
Yeah.
Exactly. These people, they didn't have to work a day in their lives. Either their parents just had money, and so their ignorance is like, you don't have to be smart to be rich. These people are just dumb. So I don't know, like the numbers of people that, at least anecdotally, I've seen in the hospital die. Like, it's not just Chinese people. Like, it's a lot. All Corona doesn't care about what.
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't.
Hey, you know how it's hella funny because we see this shit on the news every day, and we see these nurses walk in. They're oh my god, this and that. And I'm like, how many people are watching this right now? I work with that bitch. She don't do shit. Don't do a goddamn thing. You ain't no goddamn hero. Yeah.
Well, all these fucking people that post like behind the scenes footage of working in a hospital, they're not. There's no time to fucking film behind the scenes footage. Like those bitches. No. Like if you got time to record that kind of thing, like
they're
not working. They're not working. They're just trying to put like attention on themselves.
Yeah. Sure. For sure.
Well, to get more funding to show that they're doing something.
Yeah. Well,
they ain't doing shit if they're recording, like Chris said.
Well, so the reality is like the protective gear and all that shit. It's kind of sad. Like I work at a hospital that has decent, it's a good area and it's not like super affected by this. And they're still being cheap. Like they're still being stingy. Sure. I'm not trying to bite the hand that feeds, but it's like to get equipment for the nursing staff, fucking, you got to be almost dying or something like that. Like they're just saying to us, like, trust us, you'll be fine. Like,
trust
us, motherfucker. Like, you go in there. You know what I mean? Like,
Chris, you can die. It's okay.
Chris is in line. Everybody's getting their masks. Like, here you go. Oh, Chris, use yesterday's. Don't worry.
Yeah, wait, no, exactly.
It's Chris. We just ran out. Sorry.
We just ran out.
Just ran out. Yes.
And then the next guy comes along. Oh, we got a new box. So what can I say? Damn.
You go to the back of the line. People. So many people on the street. They've got N95. Like they've got the actual one that filters the air out. Like we're not using the filter ones. Those surgical masks.
The fucking guys.
Shit. That's a piece of paper on your face. Like that's all that is. That's to catch. The reason it's a surgical mask is so stuff that comes out of you doesn't go into a patient, like while they're doing OR. It doesn't protect you from shit going in. So it's a joke. It feels like a fucking joke.
Wait, okay.
But why do you think you guys don't have those things? You really think it's a cost thing? Because, dude, it's not like hospitals don't make money, dude. I mean, it's fucking strange to me.
But a hospital needs to make profit in order to stay in business.
Yeah, it's 100% that. We just got a bunch of, I don't know how much I can talk about this, but it's one of those things where, we see on the news about how people are like, oh, you're saving lives. And then the internal email is, hey, we lost X amount of money. We project this much money lost. You guys got any ideas to save money? Like, you're fucking asking us, dude.
We're not doing surgeries, so...
This is why hospitals don't have all the ventilators that they need, because it costs money.
Yeah. It's crazy. But,
I mean,
it's a sad thing about the U.S. medical system. It's just capitalism. It's all about making a profit. I mean, keeping you alive. If there's no profit in keeping you alive, they're not going to keep you alive.
Right.
100%. I feel like a cog in a fucking giant machine spinning ineffectually. It's so fucking frustrating. And all you got to do to fix this is put every patient in a surgical mask. Put them in the mask so they're not breathing this shit out and it's not getting everywhere. That's such a simple fix. But God forbid the patients get like bad satisfaction at their hotel stay. So it puts everybody at just undue unnecessary risk. I don't know, man. It's frustrating.
So
Chris,
how is it that you work with these people, right? Because you do work with patients like that.
Yeah.
You haven't caught it, right? I mean, I'm assuming you haven't caught it. So
we've all had family members that have had the flu before, right? Like in the same household, right? Like you can take care of your family member who has the flu in a separate room, and as long as you're careful about what you touch and you keep them in that room, you're okay, right? Like
Right.
The same thing that applies. It's the flu. It's just a very strong flu, and in the right kind of people, they could die. Like that's all that is.
So with that being said, should people be like? Because people, I feel like people see it as it's like death walking, right? Like it's death floating around in the air. Are they assuming that that's
there's a lot of people that have pre-existing ailments too that just won't pop up to me too.
Right, but what I'm talking about is it okay for people to feel that way, or should people be more like, listen, we know it's bad. You catch it, it is a bad thing, but because I feel like it's for whatever reason people. Well, no, it's not for whatever reason. I know why people are more afraid of it than the regular flu. It's like you just said, it's stronger, but it's not something that, from hearing you, as long as you still take care of yourself the way you take care of yourself while during a regular flu season, I'm not saying you're going to be fine, but you could still prevent from catching it, right?
Yeah, well, so, I have to be careful about how I say it, because it's like, it's both things.
Right.
It's honestly both things. It's like, it's deadly if you catch it and you have pre-existing conditions.
But so is the regular flu.
Even if you're healthy. Like, honestly, the numbers, it's like hard to, I don't think younger people, like, so anecdotally, it could be anybody that can catch it. Anecdotally, it could be different people that feel very affected by it. But your higher likelihood of dying or passing or getting it and then dying from it, it's higher if you're pre-existing conditions that make your health not well. So just like the regular flu, that can happen with regular flu.
Right, exactly.
It's really just like how you manage it. The problem with this one is that's the problem with this one. It's fucking crazy how fast it spreads because it doesn't show symptoms. So you could be fucking fit and healthy, because I saw a lady who I took care of her, looked fucking like, and she was older, but
you killed her, huh, Chris? You killed
they
her.
were about to send her home.
You killed her, Chris.
They were going to send her home. Yeah, I know. It's because I drank all the antidote.
You piece of shit.
So,
He's on. Listen, lady, you're dying. You're dying here.
Antidote, sir.
Only a drop of this will help you, but I don't know what to tell you.
Chris is like, lady, this is the cure.
Anyway, sorry, Chris.
through the glass. Through the glass window,
Big old sign, cure.
You know what? Hey,
Feeling it. I'm just looking at it.
guys, I ain't gonna lie. You guys, it's just baiting yourself. Hey, I'm not gonna lie. You guys wanna know what's keeping me alive? Look. That's it.
that guy.
You fucking asshole. Bitch.
That guy's keeping it. That's that guy there. The same guy that caused it, right? Oh, okay, gotcha. He's keeping it alive.
Hey, dude, shit. Look. I have no control of the camera.
Hey, Chris, notice how it's all charred. It's all charred up for some reason. That shit used to be gold. For some reason, it's all charred up for some reason in your room.
It's just absorbing all the sinful shit.
Es que está sacando todo lo malo de mí, güey.
Y le falta.
But it's crazy, man. Like,
Intruder alert.
this lady, she was fine. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Who was that human behind you?
But
is she one of the people that you locked up in your house?
She's real this whole time. We thought you were
was that?
Yeah, we thought she was a blow up. We thought she was a blow up, dog. She's real. She can walk. Damn.
They said you're real.
I like how
Green
Chris
screen.
They say you're real. They don't believe me. Listen, I just thought you had renamed your hand, bro. Wait, whoa.
That's some good CGI.
CGI.
Is that CGI?
It's all green. It's all green screen.
Green screen.
That's all green screen, dude. Hey, I thought you just had renamed your hand, dude.
It's a
Honestly.
green screen. Chris is like, I left that planet a long time ago. You guys are long.
Hey, Juan.
I got on Mars. I asked Elon Musk to hook it up. I'm on Mars right now.
Broadcasting live from Mars.
Hey, AI is incredible shit. You know what I tell you? These robots, they're incredible nowadays. You know what I'm saying?
So Corona, huh? That's not
You guys still deal with that?
Fucking assholes.
Are you guys still dealing with that?
Because I'm cured. I don't know what to tell you guys.
I took all the antidote with me to Mars.
I flushed it. The sewer needs it more than you motherfuckers do.
I just threw it out the window as I was leaving to Mars.
Hey, Juan, the sewer rats needed it more than you motherfuckers did. I flushed it. I don't give a fuck. Damn.
The cure for humanity down the toilet right
Literally, down the toilet. Dick.
So, Chris, you're a frontline reporter. You're Trisha Takanawa in this.
Still gotta be Asian too.
Yeah. Have you heard anything? Any kind of hope? Doctor?
No.
That's
Anyways, that's the news.
I was just telling you. I was just trying to tell you.
Well, anyways, back to us. Yeah, that's the evening news.
Ron, I'm drinking your hope right now.
Back to you, Chris. No.
Oh no, I heard nothing.
Okay. And that's the news live from the streets right there.
Chris, can you give us any positive words? You're gonna die.
We're all gonna die.
You're all gonna die. It's just a matter of time, guys.
That was a doc that told me, like, one of my first year nursing, one doc told me, like, every patient leaves the hospital in some form. Like, I was like, God damn, dude. You leave the hospital, yeah. It was like, everybody leaves somehow. Like, wow, dude.
That's true.
Hey,
all of my
I told
patients
you that, Chris. I remember I told you that when you first started. Remember, you're going into something that is not. It's a business. It just that's
yeah, man. For real, like I don't.
All your patients
that
joke.
a vent about it. Well, no, I don't mean to vent about it. Fuck, man. Like I'm burnt from this field. Like it just depresses the fuck out of you, seeing when you see it become that thing. Like I like just helping for the sake of helping, and you think you're doing a good thing, but when it's to fuel the pockets of something bigger, it just I don't know. When you see shit like I've seen, so like the Corona stuff, so just specifically the Corona stuff. That lady was doing so well, she was about to discharge, and imagine that's a person that had she not gotten sick the day she was going to go home, she would have been out in the community just spreading. Yeah. Like for the 3 days she was there, she was fine. She could get up, walk on her own. Had a broken foot, or I think it was an ankle, so she needed help getting up. So I helped her with things like that. But the day she was going to discharge, she couldn't breathe. Her respiration went through the roof. We sent her to CCU. There was one, and it's weird because when they get sent off, like again, my unit doesn't take care of the ones that are like right before they go. We're the screening unit, so it's like what they call rule out. It's like some people may have it, some people may not. We're waiting for the test to come back. So maybe you're exposed, maybe you're not. Good luck. We don't have any more masks. It's like, thanks. Okay, fine. You hear about your patients appear, and then you hear about them like passing away, and it just feels weird, man. Like there was one guy who my girlfriend actually took care of that traveled, and I won't say too much of the details, but he'd come from overseas, and on a whim they had doctors more.
Hold on. Wait. Hold on.
Wait, Chris, you froze like a motherfucker. I was like, wait, what the fuck is that?
Timed out. Like, so he was from overseas. That's the last thing we heard, and then
he froze up. I don't know if this is a connection, but so he had traveled overseas from a country. I don't want to say the name of the country.
Yeah.
But
China.
I'm gonna go pee.
but
China.
he transfers
China.
off. Yeah, you don't hear from him, and then someone like there's rumors, and this is just the nature of the hospital. Someone says he dies, and then like we fucking like have a moment to cry about it. You feel bad, like you get to know a person, all this stuff, and then the next day someone goes, "Oh, he's not dead." Like, it's just fucking like yo-yo.
So wait, the coronavirus brings back people?
No. Well, so some other nurse is like, yeah, I worked that unit. He's not dead. And then the next day after that, they go, oh yeah, no, he did die. Like he died. Like it's a fucking yo-yo, dude. It's a fucking emotional, like, it's exhausting. Like you're just like, fuck. It's really crazy. It's a weird. I don't know how to describe it, and I don't know how to put into words like the feeling that it evokes. It's serious shit. Now, what irritates me to no end are people that are like conspiracy theorists and deniers that want to say like all sorts of stuff. Now, whatever this is, if it's a human-born thing or if it's some like whatever, if it is just nature and evolution kind of Darwinism at play, I don't care. It's just sad when you see people like sick,
Chris, I was thinking about you the whole time when I was taking a piss. You inspire me to take a shit and a piss, I'm telling you.
Chris, this is your fault for trying to have a real moment.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize.
You literally shit on my human moment.
Chris is telling us the meaning of life and what was ahead for us, and you come in.
The meaning of life was what I just did in the bathroom right now.
I was just touching my dick to you right now. That's what I'm saying. Right now.
I shook that dick to your face hella clean, bruh. Sorry. Listen, to the people who are watching, I apologize. Fuck Chris, first of all.
Don't nobody watch this shit. Don't nobody watch this shit.
In that case, fuck those idiots.
I like how Chris like, I don't know how much you can say, like millions and millions of viewers, and just like, oh dude, Chris is just gonna fucking unleash right now with knowledge right now,
And then Solo, I just took a shit and a piss. What the fuck?
Hey Chris, one of these days when you have a patient that has to wait for something, like you have to wait here. You know what? Listen to these podcasts while you wait. You got nothing else to do.
You know what I'm saying?
Your corona test ain't gonna come back for a while, so
all
listen
of
to
a
all
sudden our
this.
number just go up and up and up and shit after that.
Just trying to do. Hey, so congrats on getting to go home. By the way, just kidding.
By the way, Pornhub, we're available if you guys want to, help us out with the little something.
We need to find a sponsor.
Pornzone.com. I jerk my chicken to y'all. I beat my meat like it owes me money. I'll tell you.
So Chris, nothing? No good news? Not like something that you're like, well,
yeah, fucking lie to us, Ken.
Lie to us. Tell us it's gonna be okay.
Lie to us like you love your girlfriend.
I'm like Brad Pitt right now. What's in the box?
Well, lie to us like you love your girlfriend. Goddammit.
Tell me she's alright. So nothing.
Well, the good news is the wave is slowing down. So I think all you guys should go and shake everyone's hand and congratulate them.
You piece of shit. You fucking piece of shit. You guys should go out and kiss everybody. I'm just saying. It'll be fine. Let's go.
This is Chris's final transmission before he gets murdered by the fucking medical industry and shit. He said too much.
Everybody should.
We find out he committed suicide. That's when you know he got killed. When they committed suicide.
Chris just disappeared. We don't know what happened.
It was an accident at work.
Suicided.
Accident at work, those hazard things.
Where's the tape? It disappeared.
Yeah.
It was the Clintons. If anything happened to me, it was the Clintons.
So Lalo, dude, how's the baby?
She's doing good. Like I said, I can visibly see her getting bigger because I mean,
Yeah.
she just turned 2 weeks yesterday, and I was telling Joanna her head is bigger. I can clearly see her head is bigger.
She's
But
thank God.
I'm enjoying every single moment. It's funny because she's starting to do like facial expressions,
Yeah.
and she definitely has my eyes. Like if there's anything in her face that's mine, it's her eyes.
Dude,
And
I
it's
saw a picture and she looks identical to Joanna.
yeah. But when she opens her eyes, like when she's
Thank God.
fuck you. No, but when she's like when she's quite awake, her eyes are just like mine. Even my suegra, the other day she came over and she's like, yeah, she has Lalo's eyes. She has my feet. She has.
Hey, that's like it's like she's got Lalo's eyes.
Nah, but she's good.
What else does she have of yours?
Wait, what?
What else does she have? Your eyes? That's it?
My
Why are
my
you trying to
feet.
condemn
She
this
has
child?
my she has my feet.
What are you talking about?
She has my feet and my hands, and she has dimples.
Nice.
So my mom's happy about that she has dimples. But there's times where Joanna's holding her. Is like, when is my turn? I want to hold her too. It's my turn. No, but I'm in love with that baby.
I annoy my baby. It's funny.
Well, yeah, I do that too.
You annoy us, motherfucker.
Wait,
What makes you beat that child? They
The
gonna
other
be
day,
annoyed.
because we have her on this really rigid schedule, and then like she had to be up for like the next 2 hours, and so like I'm sitting there writing her mom, and says it's like she's got to be awake for the next 2 hours. She's falling asleep. I'm mom. I got this.
I'll take care of it.
I've been training for this my whole damn life. Give me her. And sure
I'll
enough,
take care of it.
sure enough,
Consider it done.
couple kisses from annoying daddy, and she was up and irritated. And he was like, ah! I was like, hey, she's awake. She's
You didn't say she had to be out. I'm just saying.
She's
Yeah,
awake.
She's awake.
Looking, I do my part. You know what I'm saying? I do my part.
But it's funny. Is your baby already showing like signs of a personality?
She's starting to show a little bit of like she gets a little frustrated with things and stuff, like just a little bit, just barely, you know.
Yeah.
But it's crazy to know that like they can't even start laughing until like 3 months. It's crazy. It's crazy to see like so she has like moments where she'll kind of smile, but I'm like, did she really mean that, or is like she's kind of like
Right.
No,
like,
it's just
working
her.
it out. She's like
Well, listen, Juan, I can't blame her. I kind of smile when I see a titty. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't gonna lie. The smile on my face. I know what y'all's.
it's
I'm
the
just
one
saying.
part where I'm like, I'm your daddy, and she's like,
You're
I
my
would
what?
Yeah, sure. I would cry too. Hey, Kwanzaa, I'm your daddy. Wow! 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 Fuck!
Starts kicking.
yeah, you're gonna. Yeah, it's. I think you're right, dude. Like, I see a lot of the changes in her. Like, I try to take at least one picture every day, and like, it's dramatic. It could be kind of
Dude,
dramatic.
the one you sent, or the one that Ceci sent today, dude,
What,
fucking
the glasses?
classic.
The glasses.
That's classic.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like I said. I was like, you know, it sucks that my parents aren't here to see like this, you know, these little changes all the time and stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I really to always
Speaking of that, my cousin who lives in Hayward just had her child last night.
damn.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Hey, Lalo, because we had the baby like right before this whole shutdown thing, but you guys actually had the baby during the whole shutdown thing. Were you? So it was just you there with her. That's it.
Yeah, they wouldn't allow visitors, and honestly, they even told us that if I show any signs of like sniffles or anything, I wasn't gonna be able to be there.
yeah.
And lately, I mean, even before she was born, every single morning, and I think it's because I walk Mercurio out to the park, so I get a lot of the like pollen.
Allergies.
So
Do you have allergies?
this is the first year we're in the morning, and I think mostly because I walk Mercurio, and dude, I will always come back in the morning with like a runny nose and sneezing. And Joanna was like, you know, when we go to the hospital, if they see you like that, they're not gonna let you in. So that morning, it just I'm glad that it didn't happen because I still took him for a walk, and it didn't happen. Oh, we got somebody at the door. It didn't happen, so I'm just glad because they told us if you have any signs of sniffles, anything, you're just not gonna be allowed.
They're not even gonna take a chance, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You're sitting there going, no, I'm good.
Guys, I'm good.
Dude, I have my face mask.
Hey, you walk into the operating room and
No, check that. I have
Fucking gets tackled
I have a face mask and it's all like leaking right here, all running boogers.
I'm fine.
What's that? What is that? I'm just sweating. I'm crying.
It's hot in here. It's just hot.
So obviously Joanna had the C-section, right?
Yeah, dude. The baby was out like in 5 minutes.
Yeah. It's crazy how fast that shit is. Hey, you guys ever seen
He was done in 5 minutes too.
you guys ever seen Braveheart, right?
I'm on fire today, motherfuckers. Y'all give me too much material, dickheads.
You guys seen Braveheart?
Yeah.
Right, that part where they're gutting him, that's what it looks like, dude. They fucking have her.
Oh, dude, I can't even imagine, dude.
Yeah. I walked in there, they have a curtain up, and it's just like fucking, like, you just feel like that guy. Say he is your king. She's like,
Hey Juan, were you able to record when you got in there, or they didn't let you?
like they let me in there right before it was happening, and like all there was a curtain. You know,
Yeah. But did they let you? Did you record, or did
So
they?
she had a C-section too?
Yeah.
He did. Yeah, I recorded the whole thing. So, but the thing is, like, you can't see anything because it's the curtains up.
Yeah.
And then, like they lower a part of like it's like a clear curtain.
Yeah.
Leave the baby and stuff. But like I'm just like talking to Ceci and stuff, and she's like, I can't really feel anything, but I feel like a lot of pressure. And she's like, I feel like pressure.
Because she's numb, right?
Yeah, same thing with her. Like she didn't feel anything.
They have to,
Yeah,
right?
they have to.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
only thing on your side is her head and the anesthesiologist. It's like whatever.
Yeah, it's funny because I was recording and I got to record right when we hear her first scream. As soon as she comes out, right? Joanna's like, and I'm like, you heard that? And after that, one of the nurses is like, you're not supposed to be recording inside here.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, I actually asked because I had my phone and I had my GoPro, and I asked the lady when she was prepping, she was giving me the suit to go in there, and she was like, "Yeah, you can record, but just keep in mind that it is an operating room, so just kind of like." So I wouldn't even move until they told me it was okay. Like they took the baby, they brought the baby out, and then they put her on the table over there, and then they're the ones that were like, "Do you want to come over here and see her?" And I'm like, "Yeah. I mean, it's cool, So I had 2 cameras on her and shit. Like I had,
Dude, that moment alone was, I don't know, I can't describe it because the moment they show you the baby, like Gali was like, she was like dark, and Joanna's like, oh, it's morenita, like oh she's dark, but as soon as they called me, you could just see like she was getting a color. She was going dark from light. But that moment, I can't describe it because I don't know. There's just one of those moments like you were so small that I couldn't see you, and now you're like this full-grown baby. I don't know. It was wonderful.
My kid was born pooping. As they pulled her eyes.
She told her dad, of course she was like, "What?
Look, she's pooping." Like that was like the first one, man.
Oh, the black part.
That's my girl.
That's my girl. That's my baby.
Dude, I was honestly surprised and stuff that she didn't cry that much. When they would handle her, she'd like cry, but like I thought she'd be crying the whole time. And it's funny because I think when I hold somebody's baby, like so fragile, but the fucking nurses there, your people, Chris, they're just like,
dude, your people, your fucking people, Chris.
Hey, hold her head.
Yeah, and I'm like, hey, yo, and it's like, oh, and the baby's like, ugh.
She's fragile. I don't give a fuck. Like they're throwing a pizza around and shit. Just throw that motherfucker. Just
like, exactly. They're tossing a pizza around and shit.
Seriously.
Here you go.
I've seen it. I've seen that shit. Just like they
Dude,
tossing it around.
all those nurses are doing everything with their eyes closed and like.
She's in and she was just born.
You know,
I don't give a
it's
fuck.
crazy because I guess before they would put them in with other babies and stuff. But honestly, since the moment she was born, she hasn't really been out of my sight and stuff because they give her to you and then they tell you roll her into the next room where we're gonna bring Ceci and stuff, and like so that was cool to like know that there's no mix up and stuff. And it's just
nice.
like,
What you're
it's just kind of like, there you go, we're stitching her up, so you go over there and you'll be with the baby. And you're just like, fuck, what do I do? Like, fuck, you know, they just wrap her up. And
what's crazy is it's the norm for how we're born. Like that's the societal norm of how modern century babies are born. But humans are built to like women are like just to stand, squat, use gravity to let the baby come out, and things just kind of happen naturally. That's the way we've been doing it for like eons or whatever.
Yeah.
The idea of laying someone flat.
How did you do it, Chris? What?
I'm trying to give a history lesson. But the idea here.
I'm trying to show you guys, motherfucker.
Well, so people laying the woman flat on their back was an advent for the physician's sake. So the doctor, fucking awesome doctor over here, doesn't have to like bend over to like see what's going on.
Right.
Then, if this is how you're born into the world, no wonder we have dreams of being abducted by aliens, because like your first memory is the fucking bright lights and people like looking like crazy aliens.
You know, that does explain a lot. You're right.
Out of your like to make you.
However,
it's like we all have this sense of.
However, who remembers their birth, though? You know what I mean?
But
like,
it could be something that's so deep in your subconscious.
Nobody remembers their birth, but the human brain. Nobody remembers their birth, but the human brain is constantly creating like connections with neurons at a pace that we don't understand. So, like older indigenous populations have a sense of community because when someone's being born, the village gathers together, supports the mother, and like there's a thing that hospitals do now where you're supposed to do skin to skin. So the baby feels the mother's skin. And apparently, like, the mother doesn't shower for, like, a day or two. So she, like, the pheromones and the smell kind of builds up. So the baby picks up some of the microbiome of the mother. But it's like right now, it's such a weird procedure that the babies get kind of, like, shocked into the new world. And that's what, like,
they're actually bringing some of that stuff. They're bringing some of that stuff back, actually. Like, the skin-to-skin thing. They used to take them out of the mom and just, like bathe them right away. They don't do that anymore. They just go right to skin to skin and shit. You know what I mean? Like, it was actually kind of cool to see that go back. You know what I mean? Like they're like, we used to just take them out and just wash them, but now we just skin to skin.
Guys, we have 3 minutes, and I have to go take care of the stuff. Let's do takeaways.
Chris. Right.
Oh, I'm still not sharing the fucking.
You asshole.
I'm gonna take away the cure.
My takeaway is the fact that Chris is my only hope, and he said there's no hope. So what the fuck?
Takeaway. I'm still a handsome motherfucker. I've been looking at myself the whole goddamn time, and fuck, you know. I wish I had a spoon. I'd eat myself. I swear to God. You know what I'm saying? But
you'd be like Homer eating himself when he turned into a donut.
I seen that very same movie on the National Geographic Channel. I was watching the gorilla thing the other day. The same movie he's doing right now. Look at him.
And what'd you see yourself? You saw me or what?
Solo in his natural habitat.
I beat my chest like that owes me money. You know what I'm saying?
My takeaway is that I know where to go get the cure. So what's your address, Chris?
Expect me at your house in 15, motherfucker.
He's like, good luck, I'm on Mars.
Look for the sidewalk that says hero.
Oh, you mean whore? Yes.
This must be Chris's house.
This is all good luck. Look up. You see that star up there? That's where I am at right now.
Yeah.
That's Mars. That's Mars.
You know where Mars is at?
You guys want to do this again next week or wait 2 weeks?
I'm down for next week.
Okay, yeah, because I think this is gonna be easy to edit.
Yeah,
let's aim for next week.
All right, for sure.
All right,
guys.
all right.